it's not as tight to use.
Okay.
So there will be cheat sheets on how to use them, and currently there's a guide for the Bendix Kings in the supervisor's briefcase anyway. But I think there's some updated stuff that the comm team's working on. So there are two different kinds of radios. There's the GPH and the GPH Commander. These are all GPHs. They're very similar, but their capacity is just a little bit different as far as number of channels. The GPHs have 16 channels and 15 groups for a total of 240. The Commanders have 20 channels and 25 groups for a total of 500. So that's the main difference with how many channels they'll hold. But all these right here are GPHs. So go ahead and turn it on. The first thing that we want to cover is just how to change groups. So it's real easy. You just hit pound and go to group 15, which you're probably already in. So pound the group number and then enter. And that'll put you into whatever group you want. That puts you into group 15. If you want to double check to make sure what group you're in, turn it off and turn it back on, and it'll flash the group number that you're in.
This is low battery.
You guys, that's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Group 15. Group 15? Group 15?
Yep.
Okay. All right, now up on top you have your little toggles. On the left is direct and repeat. I've also seen radios that say low and high. Low being direct, it's line of sight kind of stuff. Repeater meaning you're down in a hole or you're in a canyon, you need higher frequency to be able to hit that repeater to get out. I try to keep it on low though, because on repeater it seems to cycle through the batteries a bit more. Now the scan feature. The little toggles on top, when they're pulled towards you, that means they're turned off. When they're away from you or to the back of the radio, that's turning them on. So on channel 1, go to channel 1. Does it say SCN on your display?
Channel 1.
Okay, and is that with your scan turned off?
Now it says SCN.
What's that?
Yeah, either way.
Okay.
It blinks when it's on, right?
It blinks if your toggle is turned on. So go ahead and turn it off, your toggle. And if it says SCN, that means that channel's programmed to scan. If you want to take that out of scan, hit clear, and that'll take the SCN away. But your toggles have to be turned off to do this. So it's enter is to program it as a scan channel. Clear takes it out of scan. So let's go ahead and for the purposes of this, let's make channel 1 a scan channel. And let's do the same for channel 2. Just hit enter. So
It's got to be off though, right?
yeah, the toggles have to be off to enter those in. So channel 1 and 2, we'll say one's going to be TAC, one's going to be command. That is putting both of those to where you're going to hear the information broadcast from either of those channels. Now to actually make those channels scanned, you have to turn your toggle back on the top to the on position. Now the scan will flash on the display, and that means you're scanning both of those channels. Now go ahead and turn scan and priority toggles off. Now we're going to make channel 1 our priority channel. So on the keypad down here, there's a PRI, that's your priority button. Yes, sir.
I hit enter for channel 1. Is scan supposed to come up on top when I do that? Or no? It doesn't show anything.
Oh yeah, hit enter. Sometimes the buttons stick. Okay, now you're going to set channel 1 as your priority channel.
Okay.
So go to channel 1 and hit PRI. And you should hear a beep. If you don't, go to channel 2 and try hitting PRI. Okay. Channel 1 was already your priority channel, so now go back to channel 1 and hit PRI again. Okay. So hearing the beep when you push priority is your only indication that that's your channel. Some of the radios I've seen in the past, or the way they were programmed, was the PR would be in the display, indicating that that's your priority channel as you're cycling through. So now go ahead and turn your priority and scan back up, your toggles. Okay, so now you can go to channel 16 and be on channel 16, and you are still scanning channel 1 and channel 2. If channel 1 and channel 2 are both broadcasting information at the same time, you're going to get the information from channel 1, which you set up as your priority channel. That's about it with that. Tones, there's 16 different statewide tones out there, and tones are basically just the key that unlocks the repeater, when you're transmitting information. So if they say go to channel 1, tone 5, go to channel 1. If it doesn't accept a tone, it means it already has one programmed in. Let me see yours, Carl. Because my group 15 is all programmed. Okay, so channel 1, I hit 5, and you can see a CG on your display. That's a code guard. That means the tone, you just entered the tone 5. To take the tone out, you hit 0, and that clears it.
Okay.
So, let me see yours.
I mean, that goes without saying.
Sure.
I think you have to have it out, like turn the scan and priority toggles off when you're doing that, and that got me there. You can see the code guard on there. And then if you hit 0, that'll go ahead and clear it out. So that's how to enter the tone. If it's not taking the tone, it just means one's already programmed in. As far as programming these things, if we're going into base camp, or if you can't make it to the comm unit and you have to program these yourself, group 15 is the only group that you want to be playing around with. You're entering different channels. The briefcases should have a cloning cable with it, and there's going to be cheat sheet information on how to manually program stuff in with the little programming button. But for the most part, if you don't know how to do it, throw it to the guy that does know how to do it. If you have time, go into the content and they'll program them all for you, or the strike team leader will sometimes program his, and then just clone all the radios for everybody. Again, there'll be a cheat sheet. You guys can look at that. And that's the basics on the Bendix game. Now we're going to cover some mapping stuff. Can you pull that over here? You guys can still see it. Frank, if you want to come over here. Greg, if you want to sit.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, you're done. There you go. All right, we're just going to cover topo maps a little bit. It's just getting you guys familiar with topographic maps. Our MDTs show the maps, but it's one-dimensional. And if you go out of county on a strike team, you kind of need to learn how to read the topo map. Most people are already familiar with it, but we got this one right behind you, Frank. This is a 7.5-minute map, USGS. You'll have your legends and your scale. This one's 1/24,000, so that means for every 1 inch on here, it's representing 24,000 inches in the real world. On that map behind you, it's down at the bottom, their horizontal scale is just in miles. So every map should have something like that, giving you what your horizontal distance is going to be. And the reason that's important is to compute your slope percentage. And we'll get into that in a minute. So looking at these with the topo map, one of the big things is just understanding the contour intervals. Contour intervals just mean you're getting a slope, either downhill, uphill,